Welcome. This is how to create a template with content in 8 languages. This is an education case study. The template we are going to create now has its content in 8 languages in order to be shared with people from different countries or who speaks different languages. The languages we're going to introduce are English, Spanish, French, Portuguese, German, Hindi, Chinese, and Japanese. As you can see now, you can create a template by clicking on the new section and then template, and then we are going to add the text boxes in our template. We are introducing the question and then the answer box. Now we are introducing the title of the teacher's feedback. This feedback will be in 8 languages as well. So we are introducing the title of the feedback in these 8 languages. At the end of the page, we're going to introduce the box for the feedback of the teacher. Once we are done with our template, we're going to provide a name to these pages. In this case, will be hobby evaluation, and then we save successfully. Now let's create a document for our template. First of all, we select new and we select the document. Then we select the template that we had already created to be our document. In order for this template to be processed and delivered to students, we're going to transform this template in a document. We assign the name to our document and then we click on Save. Now let's create a workflow for our document. First of all, we're going to click on New and then Workflow. Then we have this pop-up window that states Create Workflow. We assign the workflow title. In this case, it will be Hobbies Evaluation. Then we're going to create each step of our workflow. In the first step, we have Create Document. In the second step, we have Approve the document. Then in the third step, we have Assign the document, in this case to the students. In the fourth step, we have Answer and Submit the document. As we know, this document has 8 languages in its content. As that is the case, the content should be reviewed in each language separately. That is why we are going to create our following steps. As you can see, for each language, there is going to be an evaluation being carried out by the specialized teacher. Once that we have all of the steps regarding the languages, we're going to create the last steps that are going to be provide the feedback to the students, and then the last step will be acknowledge the feedback or the score. Once we're done, we click on Save and we have our workflow. Now that we have created our template, the document, and our workflow, we're going to create the process to deliver this document. The first thing we will do is click on New and then Process. Then we will have this page that will allow us to create our process. We select a document. In this case, our document has its content in 8 different languages. This content are questions and the text box to answer. Then we select our workflow. In this case, our workflow will cover the review of the 8 different answers. In the first step, we have Create Document. We select Permit Internal Workflow and then our document. Then we assign the task with the following specifications, and we assign it. In the table of content, we select all of our documents. Then we select the team member that will be assigned to do this task. Then we're going to set the different specifications. We have display, location, time, and reminder. You can select any of them according to your needs. In the second step, we have approved document. We select the same configuration, we select our document and assign the task, and then we select all the templates. We then select the member in charge of doing this task. Then we select the final configuration of display, location, time, and reminder. In the third step, we have assigned document to students. We set the same configuration, we select the document, then we assign the task with the configuration, we select all the content of the table of content, and then we select the person in charge of doing this task. Then we end with the rest of the configuration. In the fourth step, we have answer and submit document. In this case, this content will be delivered to the students, which will be in charge of doing this task. We set the same configuration, and instead of selecting team members, we're going to select public. In this case, for this education case study, we have 3 people involved. This means that we will work with these 3 people involved, and for this time, they will be our students. Then we end with the final configuration. In the fifth step, we have evaluate English answers, which means that in this step, the person specialized to evaluate these answers will be an English teacher. We're going to check the content of just the English content, and it will be T1, T2, and then T17 and T25. Let's remember that we will have to select the content in English and then the answer boxes. Then we end with the final configuration. In the sixth step, we have evaluate Spanish answers. We set the same configuration, and in the table of content, we will only select the content in Spanish, as we did previously with the English content. This will be the way that we will be setting our process to just review the content of a specific language. We will do the same for the steps that will evaluate the answers in different languages. It means that we will first select permit internal workflow, then we're going to select our document, then we assign the task, then we're going to select the specific content for the language in the table of content, and we paste the document map. Then we're going to select the team member that will be assigned to do that task. In this case, that will mean that for each language there is a specific person specialized on it. At the end of every step, we're going to end by setting the display location, time, and reminder. In the 13th step, we have provide feedback, which means that the teacher assigned to this task will provide the document already evaluated by the assigned teachers to the students. In the last step, we have the 14th step, which is acknowledge the marks or the scores. This task will be done by the students that will be acknowledging their marks or scores given by the teachers assigned. To check that our process has no errors, we click on Show Process. Then we assign our process a name. In this case, will be Hobbies Evaluation Process. In the final step of this process creation, we're going to select the given option. We click on it and then we start processing our document. Once this is finalized, we will receive a notification. It means that the people assigned to this task will receive the task on their own workspace. To check this, we can copy the link of the task and we can paste it in another tab. We can also go to homepage and check our notifications. In the case we are working with public, as this education case study requires, we will be given a master link. This master link we can copy and paste it in a new tab. We will now see our document in 8 languages. As this document has its content in 8 languages, different people can fill this out in the language that they speak. Once they are done, they can click on Finalize and this document will be saved. Once public finalizes the document, the language teacher will receive it. This is the document that, for example, an English teacher will receive. The English teacher evaluates the answer of the student and leaves their comment on the designated box. Once they are done with their task, they can finalize the document. Finally, a master teacher will evaluate the task of the language teachers. This is an example of the document that a master teacher can receive. The master teacher will evaluate the feedback of the language teachers and leave a general comment in the designated box. Once they are done, they can finalize the document and the process.